Look, I think the first one was a really good achievement in the fact that I don't think Darley had won a premiership for 10 years prior. The second one, you were successful, so we didn't lose too many players. And the third one, we think, we're pretty good. But then the fourth one, we were the underdogs. So it was different to the home and home games. They were really tough finals, which any finals are.
And just running through the 4 premiership years, we had an average of 15 locals in the 4 premiership teams, which was really special.
In my early days, I actually coached the under-17s. That was back in '84 actually. And I actually got them into a grand final. So got beat fairly easy that day, and then I had to try and front up and play seniors that afternoon. And I remember Neville Wilkie saying to me, just go for a walk or something. We had a bad run leading up to I think 81, 82. We were lucky to win. Dunstown we played up at Learmonth, and they went in probably as favourites. They beat us in the second semi fairly easy, and probably got them in about the last 5 minutes of the game. We sort of kicked about 3 goals near the end and sort of just ran over the top of them, luckily. So yeah, it was a good day.
Obviously very intense, personally and for the club. Having played at Sunbury the year before, and they knocked us off in the second semi-final. Everybody was fairly confident that we had certainly the goods to beat Sunbury, but we just had to go through the normal process and just bring it back to a normal game.
So yeah, the start of the game was the start of the game. I just bashed him.
First thing I remember was Lexi and Tyquan first bounce, and Tyquan was sort of wanting to tag him a bit hard.
Rowan Brand broke his wrist. I can remember that quite well. I can remember Lexi starting the fight at the start, and he did start it.
It absolutely peed on us. There's a shot over there of Wardy hugging me in the rain. It was unbelievable, mate.
Their final siren rang, and the game was always there to be won. And funnily enough, I look at it now on the DVD occasionally. From the first bounce, we were never going to lose.
Celebrations, well, I think I went for about 2.5, 3 weeks. But I don't know, I reckon the others pulled up after 4 or 5 days.
Well, we went to the races Wednesday, Thursday, went for nearly a week.
We got what we all wanted, and footy's great, but friends for life. So it was a good result.
Oh, look, the first thing that comes to mind with netball is our grand final that we won in '92, which was fantastic. We only played all year with 7 players, no coach, and we won, which was fantastic. Partied hard afterwards, like we do at Darley.
We had a change of coach, Craig Baker come in, who was a good mate of mine.
I was confident we were going to have a good year. I mean, you never think that, especially first year senior coach, you never think you're going to be good enough to win the grand final. But as the year went on and we continued to win games, I always thought we would be some chance. I dare say if we had that team playing today, I'm not saying we'd win the flag, but I tell you what, sides would know they'd played a game of footy.
My brother David was sought after by Darley, so he rang me up and said come up and have a kick. I was bumming around down at Avondale Heights and not doing a great deal and playing decent football. I said yeah, why not, change is good with a holiday. So I followed David up and I'm still here 25 years later.
I started off a little bit slow, played a couple of reserve games, needed to get myself a little bit fitter. Grant McMillan sort of came up and said do a little bit of extra running and all that sort of thing, so worked my way into the senior side and then ended up playing in the grand final and best on ground. That was awesome.
Melton were undefeated in the second up until the second semi-final, and we beat them there at Lansfield, and then we went on and beat them, as you know, in the grand finals. 94 we sort of had a bit of a lull of a year, and then 95 the great C. Baker arrives. There was a few people were a bit sheepish or concerned about Craig coaching. I think because in the past he'd sort of been a bit of a not a wild man, but he certainly used to give the boys a bit of a bait. Craig, in the end, Craig was terrific. It was funny in '95, Drew. There was five sets of brothers: the Barneses, the Wards, the Whelans, the Hares, and the Millers. We played Melton at their home ground and at Mackey Park, and yeah, that was in the back of your minds, I suppose. But the old rule of thumb with finals is that you lose your second semi. They haven't lost a game all year. They lost the second semi. Well, they'd be pretty confident. Yeah, on the day we all clicked. I think we were 30 odd points or something down at one stage, and yeah, we ended up getting home. And
I think the feeling around the club was that we weren't going to lose that weekend.
One thing I remember of the day is the last probably 5 minutes, I reckon, and I was sort of walking back. I was back, and Dazzy Leonard was at centre half back, and I sort of just looked at him, he looked at me, and that was the first time I thought, you know what, we're not going to lose this, you know. But when that siren went, like I said, there was joy there, but it was such a relief as well. Everything that we've put into place and all the hard work we've done as a group and as a footy club, it all come off at that moment.
But I remember seeing grown men cry, and I never thought that football would bring that into community footy anyway, and it was quite humbling to be a part of that.
With that 10 minutes to go, and I was still like, all right, you got to stay composed, anything can happen. And then I'm walking along the bench, and then Grant right in the middle of the crowd, how does it feel to be a premiership captain? And I just turned around and just gave the crowd the double fist bump. Yeah, it was the best feeling ever. I can't describe it.
Paddy had obviously resigned mid-year or late in the year, so they were looking for a coach. I was playing football down at Doncaster, and I was probably looking for a move. It just sort of panned out well. When I sort of came out of playing for Carlton, I was keen to stay down there and sort of stay involved with footy, and it changed by 2 years later. And to be serious, I could sit here and take the mickey out of Minna being a good mate, but the key thing as a coach, particularly, originally I wasn't going to play. I was only going to be a non-playing coach, and I was pretty clear on that. But me being me, there was probably always a possibility of potentially playing. So I wanted to surround myself with people I could trust, first and foremost. So, and then people who know football, and more importantly, to add to that, passionate people about football and passionate people about the football club.
You know, the saying, everyone does a little, no one does a lot, and that's what it felt. It just felt, from the more back you look back and reflect, the easier I think the year was.
To get that reward for the players too, like they're the best group of guys, and we've tried so long to get a premiership, and for that to happen in 15 and 17 was just, yeah, the best feeling ever, and it made it all worth it.
One of the biggest privileges of all time. At the end of the day, I get to sit back and say I've been a premiership captain of this great football club, and yeah, it's really something special.
But the footy club as a whole, it's a super footy club. I'm a life member of the seniors and a life member of the juniors, and you know, I'm indebted to that for, you know, the rest of my life. I was really happy I made that move to come to Darley, and yeah.
In the end of the day, like we all play for our mates, and the special thing about this footy club is the people involved, whether you're a player or you're a member, you're a supporter, like it's families, generations. But to see the number of people that I've known for many years, just emotional, excited, thrilled, was probably one of the most rewarding feelings I've ever had, because to know you're a coach to help achieve that, it's special.